We give thanks to the Most High. We give thanks to the ancestors, the spirit guides, the guardian angels. We thank you for coming to us and through us as we stand here in this critical hour that some call the worst of times and others call the best of times. What I know for sure is that we are right on time. I know we was built for this time right here. I know that it is the unseen world that controls the seen world. So let us not be afraid by the crumbling world of white supremacy, or rather white fragility, because it's going down. And it's going out kicking and screaming, but nonetheless, it is going down. And we are not of that. And so as that is crumbling, we are rising. As that world is crumbling, we are rising. We are rising. We are life. There's life running through your veins, every cell in your body, allowing you to remember and recall who you are and who you was born to be. And so we call on the ancestors, because we need them and they need us too. We acknowledge them. We say their names. We call on their energy, their life force. We give thanks to the indigenous people upon whose land we are standing. We honor the Napatan, the Anacostans, the Pamunkey, the Piscataway people. We honor all those who have come before us. We call on the ancient African ancestors, the great civilizations of Kemet, Kush, Ethiopia. We honor the civilizations of Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. We honor the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa, the Dogon, the Bantu people. We honor you, creators of math, science, medicine, and astronomy, language, art, music, and philosophy. We honor the high priests, the creators of the spiritual systems, literature, architecture, agriculture. We honor the magic makers, the shapeshifters, the freedom fighters, the liberators, the healers, the medicine men and women. The scholars, the artisans, the chalies, the storytellers, those who help us to remember and recall who we are and to whom we are inextricably tied. And so let us call on just what some of the names. Those who continue to protect us and invigorate us and empower us from the other side. We call on them. In this age of Aquarius, it's the rise of the unconscious made conscious. All that has been underground is coming above ground now. We honor the spring. We honor the seasons and the cycles of life. We are disciples of life. In the African tradition, there is no death. There is life and there is rebirth. This is why when we came and brought from Africa everything we brought to the black church, we carried those Africanisms with us that could not be beat out of us. So we call on just but a few of the names, and if you would, call on but a few of the names that we. First, we begin with the powerful spirit of balance of Ma'at. We call on Queen Tai. We call on the pharaohs Akhenaten. Amenhotep. Hatshepsut. Queen Nefertiti. Queen Candace. Queen Yaasantua. Shaka Zulu. Queen Nzinga. Dandara and Zuli of the Quilombos. Sitting Bull and Mountain Eagle Woman. John Brown. Toussaint Louverture. Jean-Jacques Dessalines. Natty and Culture of the Maroons. Che Guevara. Cesar Chavez. Harriet Tubman. Sojourner Truth. Ida B. Wells.
Thank you, Ayana. Thank you, thank you, thank you. She has brought the spirits in the room. She's set the environment for us to move forward. And we appreciate you, the daughter of the movement. This is what happens to the children who are part of your work, because you all will be hopefully recreating revolutionaries and workers in the work that we have to do here in the city. I appreciate you. And so, at this moment, we're talking about Emancipation Day. We're talking about the freedom. You know, a lot of folks are talking about, my daddy was born in Texarkana, Texas. He came here, an angry black man, died an angry black man because of Juneteenth and what happened with the enslaved people in Texas. But he came to Washington, D.C., where we were first free, or whatever that meant. And so I'm not going to tell the story, because I might misinform. But our next speaker, C.R. Gibbs, who is a historian, a lecturer, a person who knows Washington, D.C. like the back of his hand, who understands this journey that we've been through in this city, in this country, and around the world, is going to come and share information. I invite you to take out your cell phones, do some recording, take some notes. It's funny, a lot of people were out there on Pennsylvania Avenue this weekend celebrating Emancipation Day, but they don't know the story. They don't know the story, and I'm afraid a lot of our children don't know the story. But C.R. Gibbs is here to inform us and educate us. So join me in giving him a round of applause.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with my work, one of the first articles I wrote on DC Emancipation Day was in April 1985. So, you know, I've been around this event for some time. I am happy beyond measure, honored beyond grace to be in this temple of struggle. And so before I begin what I want to do, I have to acknowledge all of the great people that have come on behalf of everything from statehood to voting rights and so much more, and say that I'm glad y'all put me in for a couple of seconds. What I want to do in respect of the time is to ask you to accompany me on, let's go around the corner. Right to the left, if we can do that. No, you don't have to get up. No, I'm not talking about actually walking anywhere. I want to make that clear. But if we go out to the sidewalk, if we go down to the left towards 16th Street, I just want to mark a few places along the way. And so in our magic mothership, we're already at the start of what we used to call Black Lives Matter Plaza. But there was always history underneath Black Lives Matter Plaza. And we start there, we go right where it dead ends into the 7 acres that we sometimes used to call the President's Park, but we call it Lafayette Square now. Wasn't always known by that, and neither was the history. When we talk about the fact that all those 7 acres that comprise the park is also a graveyard of enslaved people, and that deserves some respect
and recognition. It was also a part of the land was an orchard. Depending upon what source you used, it was either peaches or pears or maybe some other place. But it is a reminder that if we're standing where it dead ends, we also know that it was a place where our ancestors were bought and sold by several different vendors. The children seem to want to know what happened. Why isn't it recognized more often? Why wasn't it taught in our schools? Why is it that we don't know and may never fully understand what went on? We seem to know more about what happened in Texas than we do in Washington, D.C. So that's one of the local things we've got to change. And on that walk around the corner, we come down again to that spot that dead ends to Lafayette Square. On your left is going to be St. John's Church, where favored slaves used to be married for the display of their owner's wealth. One of the names of one of the people who were married, they belonged, so they thought, not to themselves. Black people were clear. We belong to ourselves, first, last, and always. You may have a legal advantage, but you ain't keeping it. Because ultimately, we stand at the crossroads of those who have gone on before us, those who are yet to come, and those who are here now, and all are united in freedom and dignity and justice. So that although the church, St. John, they call it the church of the presidents, well, the presidents didn't do most of the work keeping the church up. And we ought to understand that as well. To the far right, in the opposite from St. John's Church, there is a place called the Decatur House, which was a place where our ancestors were bought and sold. Many years ago, before it was fashionable to go to places like this, I went and knocked on the front door of the Decatur House, and the woman told me to get away from it. She wasn't going to discuss what she considered not real history. She wasn't going to share what I have no doubt she already knew about the secrets hidden in the Decatur House, where the elder said that on a good day, if you walk down to about 16th and 8th, you can hear the clank of the chains, and you can hear the groans of our ancestors wrestling for an inch of comfort. This is part of that legacy. I mentioned that in those days, our ancestors were bought and sold on Lafayette Park. I remember that in one of those marriages that they like to stage every once in a while to show how happy black folk were to be slaves. About how they could not imagine a world, and again, we have people today that can't seem to understand. We're never going to stop the struggle. There ain't no way in four traditions that we're not going to let truth survive, outlive, and flourish, even in repressive atmospheres. But I remember one of the owners, they were called the Taylors. They were called T-A-Y-L-O-E. And if you don't know them, these are people that got rich off our blood, tears, and sweat. They were part of a conglomerate that was part of 13 interlocking plantations coming out of Mount Airy, Virginia. Not Mount Airy, Maryland, but Mount Airy, Virginia. And one of the families that owned space on the margins of Lafayette Square, well, his name, that Taylor, maybe you do remember him. He was the owner of the Octagon House. If any of you know, one of DC's oldest places. The Octagon House at about 17th and New York Avenue, also considered to be one of Washington, D.C.'s most haunted places. They claim that the lights go on and off and nobody's near a switch. They say that you can hear the screams of a murdered, enslaved black woman when the moon is right. Then they get nervous, of course, because we ain't supposed to know about it. We're supposed to go along with the lie that oh, nobody mistreated us. I will go to my grave remembering, I was doing a tour Smithsonian. And the older white sister asked him, she said, well, Mr. Gibbs, what are you saying? I thought slavery was like welfare. That's what she said to me on the bus. And there were two black elders, they leaned forward to me. And while I said, no, that was not true, the point I was attempting to make is that whatever she learned, whoever poured that bit of salt down her throat, hopefully to make a choke on it, got it all wrong. The Taylors not only owned the Octagon House, again, staffed by our ancestors, right on the boundary of the White House, so you could throw a rock from almost here and hit it, but also the Taylor House and the Taylor family was part of a complex in D.C. The Taylors owned land. They bought a large piece of land in upper Northwest. Oh, you know it. You know it. They named it after some of their ancestral land in England. It's called Petworth. You might have heard of it. And when they decided to free, they could have freed. If you were part of an ownership of 13 interlocking plantations, if you had right in your soul, if you weren't what Frederick Douglass called a thin-souled slave owner, you might have had a little bit of a conscience to say, if I can free hundreds of people, I should. It's the right thing to do. But not too many of our so-called founding fathers found it necessary to do that. And so we ain't going to forget that. We're not going to forget, no matter how many lies they tell, that truth, crushed to earth, rises again. The thing about the Taylors is, and Petworth's ground was terrible. It was lousy. You couldn't grow much in it. It was gravel. So they started racing horses in Petworth, if you can imagine that. But the misery that came along with the suffering of our ancestors, they tried to scrub that out. On the records of D.C. Emancipation, there are two names, Lawson, two females named Lawson. Those were the only people that they freed, that the entire Taylor complex freed. As we come back to the edge of Lafayette Square, we are reminded that on the far right-hand side, we have the Decatur House. They bought and sold our ancestors in what is now one of the last remaining active, that is to say it hadn't torn down yet, places where you can go in D.C. and see where our ancestors were bought and sold. The children ask me, well, where are there places like that? We know that they existed in Maryland and Virginia. Young brothers and sisters, they existed and still exist in Washington in many places. One of the highlights of the irony is that the second largest slave plantation